Hello, good evening and a warm welcome to World Cup Scott Sport. In tonight's programme, the action from 3 World Cup ties played in 3 different countries. From Hampden Park, Scotland versus Spain. From Cardiff, Wales against Iceland in the same group, of course. And from the distant edge of Europe, England in action in Ankara in their first ever international against Turkey in Group 3. And we begin at Hampden Park, a sellout crowd of 74,000 and the unique atmosphere that a World Cup qualifying tie can produce. The European Championship finalist Spain facing a Scottish side unchanged from the opening 3-0 win over Iceland. We join commentator Jock Brown just before the start.
It's the first time Jock Stein has been able to play an unchanged Scottish team, and there'll be a big onus on the engine room of McStay, Souness and Bett, with Cooper on the flank to provide the openings for the front men. But that's an attractive combination of youth and experience. And the most experienced man in the Scottish side is Kenny Dalglish, winning his 96th cap and needing just 1 goal to enable him to equal Dennis Law's scoring record. That's a well-tested Spanish team selected, with the accent on a defence boosted by the presence of the experienced goalkeeper Luis Arconada. But the strikers Santillana and Rincon will be the men to watch on the break, supported by men like Senor and Gordillo operating from midfield. And in central defence, the ominous figure of Andoni Goikoetxea from Athletic Bilbao, the defender involved in the explosive incident last year with Diego Maradona. Youngest man in the Scottish side, Paul McStay, the scorer of these 2 brilliant goals against Iceland in the World Cup a month ago. And a key man in the Spanish side, the record cap-winning keeper for Spain, Luis Arconada, with 63 international caps. The referee tonight, Mr. Adolf Prokop from East Germany, a very experienced official, 45 years old, and a man known as a strict disciplinarian. A packed stadium watching Spain setting in motion what is perhaps Scotland's most important match since the 1982 World Cup. And the 74,000 crowd inside Hampden, strangely quiet at the kick-off, obviously very expectant and hopeful, obviously, of a Scottish performance to remember. There's Paul McStay conceding the first free kick of the match. The victim was Gordillo. So Spain, who are renowned for their composure and controlled play from defence, playing the ball forward. Willie Miller getting an early touch, and I'm sure he'll give Jim Leighton the opportunity to get an early kill of the ball. So the singing begins around Hampden as Graham Souness begins the first Scottish attack. Jim Bett has gone very deep. This is Arthur Albiston. Good play from Cooper. Forward pass from Albiston, missing out Kenny Dalglish. And the Spanish defence happy to allow the ball to run for the goal kick. Here's the other figure of Gordillo again, bringing it back from Senor. Senor again. A fine early save from Jim Leighton. That's very important indeed this early in the match. The shot came from Victor. Now you'll see the importance of a very alert goalkeeper. This shot from Victor was a fine effort towards the post, and Leighton took it well. The message preached in the Scottish training camp was patience. So the slow build-up again, but that forward pass bringing a rash tackle again from Urquiaga, which gives Scotland the free kick. And Dalglish was taken from the back by Camacho. You can see the nature of the protest that Dalglish was backing in. The referee again in very good position to assess the situation. There's Dalglish again, brilliant turn, this is for Bett. A great move from Scotland, and Bett goes so close indeed to the opening goal. This is down to magic from Kenny Dalglish. The turn, the pass into the path of Bet. He carried the ball forward and couldn't get the angle right with the shot. Distance header. Played wide by Victor. Good understanding there. He knew that Gordillo would be there. Then it comes to Santillana. And there's the menace of the Spanish striker from Real Madrid. Well, this could have been menacing for Scotland. Gordillo flighting it in. Santillana found room inside the box. He got away from Alveston. The header dipping over the top. Dalglish. Souness. That's for Bet. It's a great pass from Souness. The chip ball in. The header from Cooper. And it's beaten out by Arcanana. Well, that was Scotland playing vintage football. Souness with the pass, splitting the defence. Bet got there, chipped the ball across. There was Davy Cooper with the header. And that's a great save from Arcanana. Santillana is back into midfield for Gordillo. Souness anticipated that brilliantly. He moved 5 yards to his left very quickly indeed as that pass was lined up. Cooper now switching to the Scottish right. Made room now for the cross. Great play from Cooper. Queuing up in the middle, but Macedo made it for Spain as Bet and Johnston tried to get on the end of that cross from Cooper. Well, that's the kind of wing play Scotland want from Davy Cooper. So the corner kick will be taken now by Dalglish. Dalglish making a run towards the near post. The header is on. Macedo's there. And a tremendous effort. The ball is in the net. Mo Johnston has made it. 12 minutes from half time. Mo Johnston gives Scottish a vital lead, and it was set up by this tremendous shot. We'll see in a moment as Macedo's header came out. There was Nicholl on the volley, a fine save from Arcanana, and racing in first to the ball, the diving header from Mo Johnston. So the Celtic striker picks up his third international goal, and never has a goal been more important as the Spanish wall is breached. Bet lets it run. Cooper using his strength to try to hold off Urquiaga, who was forced to go in heavily from the back. Scotland have the free kick. The referee wants Victor back 10 yards. Souness now looking for Dalglish. Cooper looking at Urquiaga. Very skillful play again from Davy Cooper, winning the corner kick for Scotland off Urquiaga. Dalglish goes out. I think this means a short corner kick for Scotland. Full of movement in the box. Back it goes to Souness. Cooper is onside. Trying the little lofted pass towards McLeish. The ball is still in play. No, the linesman on the far side has indicated a corner kick. But Cooper proving a splendid winger for Scotland on the night, full of confidence, full of cheek. He certainly is not being pinned down by the Spanish defence. Macedo's header. Good running by Bet. The pass came from Willie Miller. There's Johnston! 2-0 to Scotland. 3 minutes from half-time. Well, this, again, a goal of the highest quality. Miller lofting it forward. Bet timed the run brilliantly, got free of the defence on the right. A splendid out-swinging cross, Johnston going up, a powerful header, and Arcanana was helpless. A dream World Cup match for Mo Johnston, the scorer of both these Scottish goals. emulating his Celtic colleague Paul McStay in the match against Iceland. And Scotland's great spell of form continues. Camacho and now Gordillo. There's Rincon. Western tactics of McStay and Bet forcing the error with the pass forward. There's Graham Souness. Galveston. Back it goes to McLeish. Bet plays it back. Scotland now easily commanding the situation from midfield. And the Spanish defence, which looked so effective in the opening half hour, has now been breached twice by some inspired Scottish play and by Mo Johnston in particular, with 2 excellent goals. Steve Nicol, who had such a vital part to play in the opening goal, takes the throw on the far side. Gordillo under pressure from Nicol. Pushes header. Cooper with the accurate ball back to McStay. Johnston finding space on the right. Behind it goes for another corner kick for Scotland. Now can they finish the first half with a flourish? Cooper nutmegging the defender, but it didn't quite come off. Gordillo closed his legs quickly enough. Free kick given against Graham Souness. No, in fact, it's the half-time whistle. Scotland leaving the field to a tremendous ovation from the Hampden crowd. Mo Johnston has enjoyed a 45-minute spell which he'll never forget in World Cup action. The scorer of the first goal, which was the result of some inspired shooting power from Steve Nicol. The volley, which was beaten out by Arcanada. Johnston reacted first. That was the opener after 33 minutes. But then came a magnificent goal for Scotland, set up initially by Willie Miller, then by the running power and intelligent play on the right from Jim Bett. A powerful header came from Mo Johnston, and that's the goal which has sent Scotland at half-time, leading by 2-0. Join us right after the break.
There were some strange and persistent rumours concerning car project T85. According to informed sources, it had cost over £400 million to develop, using computers more advanced than the ones on the Apollo space mission. But those weren't the really startling facts. For optimum fuel economy, T85 was going to have a drag factor unheard of in its class. It would be capable of over 126 miles per hour. It would offer even more interior space than its best-selling competitor. And it would need shorter servicing times than any previous car of its kind. But then we're not sure there's ever been a previous car of this kind. The new Vauxhall Astra. Remember, we got here first.
Jake Ferris is about to bet everything, and we mean everything, that she can turn the next guy she meets into a singing sensation.
All right. The next normal person that comes by, I'll take him. The next one.
Okay.
Whoa, how you doing? Nice night. You look...
Good luck, Jake. Sylvester Stallone, Dolly Parton, Rhinestone.
because the lady loves milk tray.
Well, it's not exactly Hampden. There's only 10 blokes on the cart. But when you get chopped on the run, you go down just as hard. Looking at them play out there, there ain't none worth £1 million. But I reckon it was priceless, that nod put in by Sid. There's another sight for admiring that makes the spirit fly. Just lift a finger, say the word, and raise the elbow high. Oh, I'm a scholar, and he's a scholar. We're scholars through and through. When you know your drink, you know your brew. You can be a scholar too, a scholar through and through.
Welcome back to Hampden as Scotland get the second half underway, and it has come as no surprise that Spain have made a substitution. Utragueno from Real Madrid has come on up front, although there's something of a surprise in the sense that Rincon, a striker, has gone off. So Nicol playing it forward, stay in good position. Bet coming in, anticipating the pass back. And Jim Bett, once again, showing his influence in the Scottish side. Undoubtedly his finest international for Scotland. He's played brilliantly in that first half and starting again the second half in similar fashion. Senor takes over in midfield for Spain. Here's Gordillo. Good play from the midfield man. That was a splendid build-up from Spain. Urtubi with the final shot going over the top. But there's a timely reminder for Scotland. This game is still very much alive. Gordillo attacking Steve Nicol, playing a fine ball inside. A turn and shot by Urtubi, and Leighton happy to see it over. Not McLeish's best header, picked up by Gordillo. McLeish to the rescue that time. The Senor looking very sharp indeed, but Bet doing a good job in defence. That's for Urquiaga, and look at Davy Cooper way back there in defence, showing a full range of skills. Poor throw, putting McLeish under a lot of pressure. The apology comes from Martin Albiston. Souness. Dalglish has made space behind Camacho. Dumped on the seat of his pants by Goikoetxea. Ceremonious. So Scotland's free kick. Carrara lining up the defence. Once again the referee having to bring the wall back. A two-man wall this time as Souness looks for McLeish at the far side of the box. Maceda won it under severe pressure from McLeish, and indeed the referee has penalised the Scottish centre half for the challenge. Stay blocked down in the sandwich provided by Victor and Urtubi. Positive play from young Paul McStay. No Bet. Albiston. Cooper. Teasing Urquiaga again, and that ball releasing Albiston on the left. Handed out by Gordillo. Souness obviously relished that one, but this was down to some inspired play by Davy Cooper, releasing the ball into the path of Albiston on the left. A deep cross coming in, intended for Johnston, and there was Souness coming on to the clearance. Dalglish again, the man in command in the air. Ball stolen by Dalglish. Johnston is onside. A chance now for Scotland. Bet racing into the box. He's the target. And the offside flag was up against Jim Bett. But this demonstrates very clearly one of the supreme qualities of Jim Bett. Johnston breaking on the right onto Kenny Dalglish's pass. Johnston holding it up. Bett sprinting late from midfield into the box. And mistiming the run slightly. That's the offside decision. "20 minutes now into the second half. Scotland still look comfortable on their 2-goal lead, despite the Spaniards picking up the pace of the match and trying to turn the run of play back towards Jim Leighton. Dalglish, back again by Camacho. Bett with the up and under. Seda is there, showing good control. Senor. Victor. Some space now for the Spanish coming forward. Gordillo on the left. Jim Bett is back defending. Here's Senor. Not a bad effort from the little midfield player. He's been busy all right for Spain in midfield tonight. And picking up the ball in that midfield area, spotting the chance to let fly for the bottom corner, and Leighton is happy to see it go wide. Senor couldn't control it. Soon linking up with Dalglish. An awkward ball to control. It's back now with Camacho for Spain. The breaks from Urtubi to Gordillo. There's Victor. Picked up by Senor. Gordillo wants it on the left. Nicol not being tempted into any rash tackles. Sturry's going well, the full-back. Johnston looking for help from Dalglish inside. Gordillo again. Nicol quickly into the tackle. Gets some help from Mo Johnston, but the free kick's given to Spain. Gordillo perhaps the pick of the Spanish players, certainly in the creative sense. And this could be dangerous for Scotland. Camacho up to organise the free kick. Leighton staying on the line. Double for Scotland. The header, and it's Goikoetxea who has made it 2-1 with that surprise header. Well, you'll see Leighton starting to come. He then checked out. Goikoetxea arrived in the box, got up well, he wasn't challenged well. The ball bouncing over Jim Leighton, and that puts Spain right back in the match. Well, Andoni Goikoetxea, renowned more for his tackling and defensive qualities, cashes in on hesitancy in the Scottish defence and brings Spain back into play. Jim Leighton, very anxious no doubt about his part in the goal. Johnston is offside. Goikoetxea joining the attack to put Spain back in the hunt. Miller wins it. This ball's though tending now to fall to men in red, whereas in the first half they were going to Scotsmen. Souness finding Johnston. Leaving it now to McStay. Souness using Nicol on the touchline. The challenge from Victor. Here's Dalglish. Nicol linking up again. Good play from Nicol. Back it came, but Macedo was there. Big centre defender, the rock of which many Scottish attacks have foundered. But Nicol did well in attack for Scotland. Cooper all the way off. There's Kenny Dalglish making the angle for the shot. Dalglish makes it 3-1 and equals the Scottish scoring record. The goal was vintage Kenny Dalglish, 10 up by Cooper, laying the ball inside. Dalglish with the dummy to beat Maceda, and look at this for the stunning left foot shot to leave Arcanada stranded. Johnston now out on the track. Kenny Dalglish makes it 3-1 to Scotland. His 30th international goal, equalling Dennis Law's record, and his 96th international. The chant goes up around Hampden. Johnston, his efforts being appreciated by the Scottish supporters. Souness with the interception again. He's intercepted a lot of passes in midfield tonight, Graham Souness. Has a great ball from McStay. There goes Johnston. Got the shot in as Maceda came across. But this was down to the quality of the pass from Paul McStay. Playing that through the Spanish defence. Johnston perhaps slowed down by the knock he took some time ago. Maceda getting back and no real power in the shot. Paul McStay with a high quality pass once again, opening up the Spanish defence. Cooper, turn pass to Nicol. Gordillo. Stink tactics of Nicol pay off again. Here's McStay. That's a great pass again for Davy Cooper. Back it comes to Souness. McStay leaves it to Dalglish. Jim Bett looking for the shot, but Maurice Johnston had gone offside. And once again, some creative, imaginative play from Scotland around the penalty area. They played with so much variety tonight. Souness with the header, looking for Bett. Another by Bett, one of very few tonight. There's Butragueno going through, and Steve Nicol was in a good position to prevent the ball reaching Santillana in the box. Something a let off there for Scotland, but here's Dalglish. Carrying the ball over for the throw. The temper shot out there. Camacho with Dalglish. So just over 5 minutes left for play, 3-1 to Scotland. Still they treat Spain with the respect which they're due. Carrasco, the back killer to Butragueno. Carrasco wants to return. Good interception by Albiston. Souness gets help from Miller. Johnston to Cooper. Steve Nicol going on the outside on the overlap. Cooper doesn't need him for the moment. It was well read by Gordillo. Spotted Cooper's intentions. Dalglish, return pass. Was a great disguised ball from Cooper. There's Steve Nicol. Back it goes to McStay. Now Johnston. Can he make his hat-trick? A tangle of Spanish legs. There's Jim Bett. And great goalkeeping by Arcanada. Urquiaga very unhappy about the challenge from Bett. And that certainly is an overreaction to the challenge from Bett. Although referee Prokop hooks the Scottish midfield man. Oh, what a piece of action. That was a great ball inside from Cooper. Nicol made it into a fine pass with that challenge. Came to McStay, set it up for Maurice Johnston. He couldn't steady himself properly for the shot. Blocked by Goikoetxea. There's Jim Bett. Arcanada didn't have the ball. Bett tried to get it, and that's what upset the Spaniards. There goes Victor on the right. Butragueno wants it inside. And once again it's Bett who comes back, and what a match he's had tonight for Scotland, both in attack and in defence. So we go inside the final minute of the match, and clearly now there's no way back for Spain. They appear also to realise that. They made a big effort in the second half. They must get credit for that. They certainly weren't content to lie down when they went 2-down at half-time. And there goes Victor. Sandiana beaten by that tackle from Albiston. Here's Paul McStay waiting for Johnston to go onside. The 90 minutes are up as Cooper takes possession for Scotland. Souness inviting Nicol to set off on a run, asking rather too much of his former Liverpool colleague. So we're now into time added on for stoppages at the end of the match, but there's none of that. Referee Adolf Kokop brings to an end another night of joy in the World Cup for Scotland. Jock, delighted player, amazing manager, the most happy player in the field perhaps is Kenny Dalglish, with that inspired third goal which took the pressure off Scotland after Andoni Goikoetxea brought Spain back into the match midway through the second half. Kenny Dalglish, playing the full 90 minutes, leaves with a broad smile on his face. A match he relished, a match to remember.
Yes, indeed, an absolutely marvellous night for Scotland, and absolutely fantastic fans, and above all for Jock, who was clearly delighted when he spoke to Ian Archer after the game.
Jock, the view up in the press box was that was the best match Scotland played in 6 years of you being manager. Do you agree?
I think it would compare with anything that had been played here. It was a good competitive match, and we knew the way they would play, and I think our front two men took a hell of a batter and came out it well, but it's a good team performance.
It was almost as if it was planned on the drawing board. I mean, patience and then 2 up at half-time.
Quite a lot of it was, actually, and all due credit to the players. They'd worked hard, they'd sat down for a long while watching videos, they'd talked about it. But it's all about on the park. We do all the talking on the park, but it comes up to the players. We asked Jim Bett for a bit special tonight, a bit extra, that he was a bit careless in previous games, we thought. He answered the call. I thought he was possibly in the first half our best player, but Jim Leighton as well in goal answered everything. So all we could say, it's a magnificent result for us. I think you see all the people going away, everyone's delighted. You can't get any better than that. We've heard about 10 years ago about cutting our own throats. We've thought when we lost the goal here, oh, here it's away again, but we've come back and scored a good goal. Maurice Johnston scored.
And Kenny Dalglish equals Dennis Law's record of goals. I mean, what a player he is.
Yeah, well, he was only going to play for an hour, but he's lasted the game there. We've nursed him from Saturday. I think that it was touch and go with him because he didn't do much training, very little indeed, but he said, give me the rest and I'll be able to play. We've given him the rest and he gave us the answer.
Well done.
Big hand for